What is up, sports bettors? Matt Modi here with OddsJam, coming to you with some more sharp bets for NFL Week 1. For this video specifically, I have two bets to lock in for Week 1. Of course, the bets I found, I was scanning through the OddsJam Positive expected value page, scrolling through all the different plays here, found two that I really liked. So let me go ahead and lock these bad boys in. So the first one here, you see Colts team total over 26.5. That has been locked in. And the Steelers Bengals first half under 22.5. Colts team total over 26.5. Bengals Steelers first half under 22.5. So those are the bets that I locked in, of course, using OddsJam. Now, let's talk about them. So this first one here, Cincinnati Bengals versus Pittsburgh Steelers, first half under 22.5. So to talk about the math first, because that's obviously the most important part of sports betting, is making sure that you have the math correct. That's the whole point of positive expected value betting, is finding an edge using math and data to find an edge, which is exactly what OddsJam does for you. So the no vig odds on this one are at -101, -102 if you want to round up. And the bet that we placed on FanDuel was +100. So the gap between these two numbers is where you get your profit margin from. Anywhere in which we are placing a bet with more favorable odds than the no vig line is going to be mathematically profitable. I also like this one because it's got a tight market, only 14 cents of market width on this one. And all in all, equates to a profit margin of 0.88%. Obviously, a lower profit margin on this one at 0.88%, but as you saw, I still locked it in, and I still think that even bets lower with lower profit margin, lower percents here, are still valuable, are still profitable, and they shouldn't be avoided because of that alone. I still think that it's worth looking into them, making sure that they're still a good, profitable bet and all that stuff, which is exactly what I found with the Steelers one. So everybody who has been watching this channel, I'm sure, is aware that the most important thing you can do once you have identified a positive EV play is look at the holistic betting market. So in this case, you can just click the play. It pulls up what every book has pricing for this play. And then if you open it up in a new tab, it shows the entire betting market itself. So what we see here is that pretty much every book prices this first half total at 22.5, except for DraftKings, which has it at 23, but has it juiced towards the under at -120. But FanDuel is the only one giving you odds close to even money. Every other book, except for Tipico, thinks this should be priced -110 or worse. Every other book, again, except for FanDuel and Tipico, thinks that the under is even the more likely scenario, or they just have it at even money. BetMGM and Caesars have it at even money. WinBet, same thing, but they have it heavier juiced. But BetRivers thinks that the most likely scenario is that this goes under 22.5, pricing this at -118, with the other side at -107. The OddsJam line, which again, as pulled from Pinnacle Sportsbook, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, prices this at -111, again favoring the under. And we got it at even money on FanDuel at +100. Now, another sharp book, BetOnline, prices this total a half point lower at 22, but kind of like DraftKings, they're juicing the over. So it's hard to tell what they would have thought if they did price it at 22.5, but it still is a good sign that they at least think it's a half point lower, what the true line of this first half spread should be. And then just looking at it from a handicapping perspective, a lot of people are high on the Bengals this year after they're coming off of the Super Bowl, which I understand, but the Steelers have a very good defense led by TJ Watt, and the Bengals did upgrade their offensive line with the signings they made in the offseason. I still think that there might be a little bit of growing pains. And then on the Steelers side, they're starting Mitch Trubisky on offense. I think we all know what Mitch Trubisky is as a quarterback. So getting a positive EV play on the first half total going under, I do think is valuable. Obviously, you saw me lock it in on FanDuel. So that is the first one. This next one that I have here is the Colts, team total. As you saw, locked it in over 26.5. So this one is a little bit more juiced at -120 on Tipico, but I still think that it's a very good bet. So to talk about the math again first, the OddsJam line prices this at -121 with the VIG removed. That is with the no VIG odds are calculated. These no VIG odds are basically a weighted average taken from all the different sharp sports books, and then, like I said, given a weighted average and what they price their no vig odds at, -121, 20 cents in market width. So not quite as tight as a market as the Colts one, but still well within the range that we like to get under 25. All in all, a little bit, again, of a lower profit margin of 0.5%, but still a good bet. And then, of course, what you have to do is look at it in a new tab. So open an event page, open it up in a new tab. And we see, so Tipico prices it at -120, the OddsJam line at -136, and every other book has it closer to the OddsJam line except for FanDuel, which is in the middle. So they have it at -128, but DraftKings has it at -130, closer to -136. BetRivers, -132, closer to -136. And I love this one for sports reasons. So the Colts, everybody remembers them flaming out in the playoffs last year because Carson Wentz against the Jaguars just wet his pants. But look at how the Colts rated on offense with Carson Wentz. They were 13th in the NFL in offense, and I believe they made an upgrade at quarterback getting Matt Ryan. They still have good roster around him, a good offensive line. Obviously, they still have Jonathan Taylor. And look at the defense they're playing against. They're playing against the Houston Texans defense that is about 10th worst in the NFL at 23rd. And for some reason, fired their head coach and then promoted their defensive coordinator. So they got a poor defense. So I think the Colts is a team that I'm very high on this year. I love getting them to go over 26.5 points. I think that it makes a lot of sense for handicapping for football purposes as well, obviously, as it's a positive EV play. So the math checks out, which means I like it. So let me just add both of these to my bet tracker. Of course, it's really important to track all your bets to make sure that to see where you're profitable, where you're not profitable, and just understanding all that stuff is very important. All this information you see here on my home screen comes from using the OddsJam dashboard comes from using the OddsJam bet tracker. It all feeds into this dashboard. So it's very, very important to track all your bets. And that's going to be it. So again, for my two plays, I have the Colts team total over 26.5 against the Texans. And I have the Steelers, Bengals first half under 22.5, both 1 unit plays. And that's going to be it. So if you're tailing, let me know in the comments. Would love to hear it. Other than that, please remember to like the video and subscribe to the OddsJam YouTube channel. And that's it. So appreciate you guys watching and have a good one.